Pleased to be joined by the featherweight champ, Martin Nguyen, ahead of a title defense at one inside the Matrix, coming from Singapore. This is a massive one. Tan Lee. It's been on the cards for a while now. What's that been like? This fight was booked. You've had to wait. You know, you've had to come across the world, various travel restrictions, but finally we're here. We've got you back where you belong, back competing. It's good times, but it was a struggle to get here, right?
No, you said everything all in one word. It was a struggle, but it had been a struggle. This whole fight, it was scheduled back in April, and life took its toll. And at the end of the day, man, we can't dwell on all the negativity. I took the positives out of it. I had 2 training camps back in November and then back for April, and I took the positives out of it. And the main thing is I got better as a martial artist, as a fighter. And come October 30th, I'll be more than ready.
Do you feel like you've had a chance to heal up injuries, to add some new skills? Are you kind of raring to go, excited to show that off now?
Yeah, I wasn't really like injured throughout the whole last 2 camps. If anything, I just made myself realize what I wasn't good at, and the moment you realize the negative side, the pros and cons of your skill set, and you start working on them throughout that time, you kind of grow as a fighter. And for me, I kind of knew that there was some areas that I needed to fix, and I'm thankful for that, because now I'm more than ready.
How annoying was it for you that you had that amazing Jadamba knockout, which was one of the knockouts of the year? You followed that up with Matsushima, a top 5 guy, really convincing win against him. And that's over a year ago now. I mean, what a nightmare. Like you were flying, and now you've had to wait. So has that been very frustrating?
And it is frustrating, but it's out of my control. If it was up
Yeah.
to me, I'll fight every month if I had to. But all that stuff is out of my control. You can't do. I can't dwell on stuff I can't control, man.
Do you think you're able to still tap into that momentum? Ultimately, you're on the back of 2 awesome wins, 2 wicked finishes. Kind of, that still exists, even though it's been a while, right?
Definitely, 100%. And it's only I'm only getting better, man. I'm getting better and better every single camp that I have out at Sanford MMA. And I look at every single opponent as the highest of the high, with world championship credentials, and they want to take what I've worked so hard for. So getting ready man, I'm always ready for anyone in this the whole division, no matter what.
How nice has it been? It's so cool seeing some of the training videos. Ongla's great at posting kind of nice insight for the fans, and seeing you guys all get to come over together. I know you're individuals when you're in there, but it just really feels like a nice team vibe. So can you paint a little bit of a picture of what it's been like over there? I mean, some of the training partners over there as well, like people like Robbie Lawler and Rumble, and just some crazy talent, right? It seems like a special time at that gym.
100%, man. And yeah, like for me, I just focus on the training. But when we have time, we get to pull out our phones and everything like that. But yeah, what you see on the internet is it's raw, it's real. And when you walk into that room and you see, um, uh, what is it, the present world champions, as well as people who are working to become world champions. We've got old world champions, like all these guys all in one room, working and pushing you and making you be the better athlete that day, and you just get better and better from there. And it's so surreal, because you walk into a room where you're like, man, I used to watch this guy the start of my whole career, and now I'm actually moving around with him. And yeah, it's so surreal, to be honest.
So is there any names that stand out for you who've really, like, you've learned something really interesting, or really rubbed off on you, or taught you something specific?
Yeah, so I moved around with Robbie Lawler, and I moved around. My main training partner for this camp was Michael Chandler. He was getting prepared for his bout. That obviously they didn't need him for that bout, but he was still prepared and helped me throughout the way. There's a lot of up and coming guys from Stanford MMA. Man, I could name, Sean Soriano. There's Adam Borish, who was getting prepared for a fight in Bellator. So all these guys, when we train, to be honest, it was 100%. It was all hard. It was the main focus of taking out our opponent. And when we get into that cage, that octagon, and we visualize. I just visualize my opponent's face on my training partner, and the rest is history, man. We just get better and better.
Yeah, you've had a long old time to visualize. I mean, Tan Le, he seems to have a lot of respect for you. Ultimately, he believes that he's better in all areas. I mean, what do you make of that assessment? And how big of a test is he? Do you respect his ability? Is he a big test for you?
Yeah, good on him for thinking he's the best. At the end of the day, when it comes to fighting, I'll be the one to do my best to make him eat his words. If you don't think that you're the best, then you're not made for the sport. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe that your skill sets and everything you've worked so hard for puts you at the highest level in this fight game. So his mindset, if he believes that he's the best, good on him. At the moment, I'm at the top, and I'm here to defend my throne. And every opponent that I face, I look at as the highest caliber opponent that's next in line, has world championship credentials, can possibly be the world champion. It's up to me to defend my throne and uh, defend everything I've worked so hard for.
Have you got a sense of how this is going to go? We all know about your power and your hands. Is there anything that you've really been pleased with recently that you've worked on and that you want to implement here?
Yeah, I've worked a lot on everything, man. Like from my wrestling to my jiu-jitsu. We have Gilbert Burns and Bagner Rocha come through. But most importantly, I stuck to what I know: my hands, my striking, my cardio, my fitness, my power, strength, the will to win, the will to be better, and that's all I've known, and that's all I'll ever be. And coming into this fight, that's all I'll have.
In any way, does this feel like a bit of history? Both you guys, Vietnamese heritage. Have you been receiving any messages from the Vietnamese fans? Does it feel like a landmark moment in that regard? And there's progress being made about legalizing MMA in Vietnam, which is massive. So does it feel like special in that way at all?
100%. Vietnam stand up. This is going to be a monumental fight. We're putting Vietnam MMA on the map to Vietnamese guys. You know, proving that we can bang with the best, and we are the best at the moment. That's fighting for that title. So it's a huge moment for Vietnam mixed martial arts. And initially I wanted this bout to be in Vietnam because I know how huge it will be. But obviously COVID came through, and the rest is history.
You're the champ. You're in the peak of your career. I know that that's a goal of yours to have a big event in Vietnam. Obviously, COVID, yeah, it's a factor, right? But how on top of that are you? Is it something that you kind of periodically mention to Chatri or the guys at One? And is it something that you kind of feel like we got to do this by a certain time? While you're still in your prime, are you pushing to make that happen?
100%. Last year we flew to Vietnam. We had a meeting with government officials and the highest of the high when it comes to officers. And the meeting somewhat went well. And you know what? I heard it was like end of last year, started this year, that it was mixed martial arts was legalized, and it was a matter of just getting the event out there and getting the right people in the organization. And I think what is it, the commission, getting the right commission together to sanction everything, and that's what they're in the process of doing right now. And man, regardless if it's going to happen this year, next year, or the year after, it's got to happen, and it's going to happen. And I'll be more than honored to fight on that card.
That would be amazing. That would be absolute quality.
100%. That'll be crazy.
Yeah, and that's a special piece of history as well, right there. So how confident are you then in your teammates? It was great to chat to Antonio Caruso yesterday. Ongla, of course, has been looking great. He's been through it as well, getting COVID and everything. How confident are you that as a team, everyone's getting the job done here?
Yeah, we every single day, 6 days a week, man, twice a day we spend. Man, I'm with these guys more than my family, and for real, it was the case because I left my family for the 2 months to be over here with these guys. And we all meet in the room, we put our head down, we work hard, we go home, we come back and we do it again twice a day, 6 days a week. Seeing these guys, they're like my brothers. I live with Angla, so seeing him every day, just helping out as much as I can, family wise, and around the house to make life easier. But most importantly, focusing on what needs to be done, and that's the job, and that's the job on October 30th.
Just want to ask you finally about a few other fighters. You know, as the champ, you're keeping your eye on what's happening. So Gary Tonin says that he's got Matsushima next, which is a really interesting matchup. How intrigued are you by those two going at it? And then the other one, of course, you beat him twice, but Christian Lee is ranked number one in your division, which so that's always going to be a question that's there, right? That it's inevitable that you meet again. So those guys, I mean,
100%.
how much are you keeping an eye on them?
Look, to be honest, I'd never heard about the Gary Tenen match until basically today. Whether that's solid or not, it is what it is. Good on him. He's actually fighting a ranked guy now and not getting fed somebody's. And, you know, it is what it is. Matsushima is a very good name. Matsushima is a very good fighter. Yeah, I did beat Matsushima, but Matsushima was a tricky fighter to figure out. And, you know, he came back after that loss for a tremendous performance and knocked out a highly touted prospect from Korea, South Korea. So good on him. This is a very good fight for Matsushima as well as Gary Tonin stylistically. May the best man win, and whoever wins, I'm expecting to fight them next.
And then the Christian thing, I mean, how do you feel about the fact that he's ranked as the top featherweight, you know, outside the champ? Do you think that's correct? And given you beat him twice, how do you feel about facing him a third time?
Realistically, Christian's on another path, and that's a lightweight, defending that lightweight throne. I was touted to fight Christian back in November last year, but obviously he took that last minute fight to fight Sagid, which he didn't have to, but he did anyway. It is what it is. I don't really care. Me personally, he's young, he's growing, he's now an adult, and he's only getting bigger. Personally, I don't think that he'll make the weight anymore, or if he does make the weight, he's not going to feel the same way he used to. So I think he's on another journey at the moment, in which defending that throne is that journey, and you know he's got a high level guys in that division that are after that title. So whether he puts it on pause to come back down, be my guest. You know, I'll always be ready. I'll always sign that contract. But whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Do you spend much time assessing the division and like kind of looking at the rankings and thinking, he looks decent, maybe, yeah, that would be fun, kind of thing? Or do you just focus on what you got to do?
No, I just give the list to Chatri. Yeah, this is the list. I'm going to go through every single one with the title or without title. It does not matter. And two of those guys I've already beaten. So there's still another 3 guys left on that list, and we'll move on with the division and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Quality, mate. Martin, always good to speak to you. Best of luck. It's good to catch up.
Cheers, man. Talk to you soon.